place, the primary reason why it is cited in ag and forestry. And then again with the lake and stream protection, as Mr. Freeze had said, there is the 500-foot setback from those major bodies of water. And then anything permitted, or I guess cited through tributaries, is also permitted extensively through Eagle. So we have to stay outside of all Eagle regulated wetlands, and any sort of crossing underground or through under those tributaries has to be done in accordance with their standards. Just another note with regards to the MPSC applications thus far. Commissioner Warfield, you're correct. They stick pretty firm to that 1 year time frame. So I think the initial applications to the MPSC for those solar projects were submitted late last year. So there should likely be some sort of decision made here in the next few months on those first few applications. And then, yeah, I mean, as Commissioner Eustace had mentioned too, it's best for a developer and a county or township to work locally. There's so much work that has to go into this from so many departments, including emergency response, the road commission, the fire department. I mean, it's best for everyone to be in the loop on what's going on. And you know, that is still a developer's likely intent, is to work locally if there is an option and a workable ordinance in place. So just one few thoughts there.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How, if you can speak a little bit from the industry, how do you feel about the viability, long-term subsidies that solar is getting?
So solar is subsidized just like all energy forms have been for the past,
So going forward?
Yes. I mean,
there seems to be a lot of stuff in Washington that they might be cut off and ended, changed, and how would that impact future projects?
Yeah, I mean, the one big thing is the cost of solar has really dropped, the cost of manufacturing it. Another big thing has been the pull for domestic manufacturing now in the U.S. So there is obviously, yes, a sunset on those tax credits that were put in place by the previous administration. However, going forward, we still see solar, wind, battery, all and gas as viable energy forms for the future.
Any other questions for Cindy? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Please.
Joe, hold that up. My name's Jim Coleman. I've known quite a few of you. I've been here several times, but I live on the north end of Black Lake. The solar farm is going to go in these areas that were marked in red. This is the north end of Black Lake. Even the current ordinance says 500 feet from major bodies of water. Mr. Freeze labeled those off. That doesn't protect these. All these bodies of water drain into Black Lake or Black River. Those are protected by a 40-foot setback. Why aren't they protected by a 500-foot setback? Because everything comes into here. If you were on Black Lake or near Black Lake this spring when the flooding was there, all of those were feeding water in there. Any kind of sediment, any contamination from those panels would be right into our lake. So,
Can I ask a question of Mr. Combs?
Yes.
yeah.
This is previously used as farmland. Is this tiled? Is quite a bit of this tiled, and where do those tiles go? And did we ever do a drainage study of this location, or did we just rubber stamp this?
So this is a copy of the county map, and then I simply just overlaid the squares with based on their site plan to show you how it overlaps and goes over all of those protected areas and all of those streams that feed into the Black Lake and Black River. We got
Was there
26.
drainage analysis done on this project?
Sorry?
In a drainage analysis, an engineer's study of where the water goes and falls upon this land?
Currently, I've never seen it, but he probably has a study, but I don't know how you're going to do a study when you have 300,000 panels that create a sheeting action.
Right.
Okay? So when it comes off like on the roof of your house, that's why we have gutters, right? That water's coming down in the sheeting action and it digs a furrow in the ground. And it goes right back to the closest area where it can drain. Again, back into the Black River and Black Lake watershed. We found out this year that everything's connected. All of our waterways and everything's connected. Look at, but we're still dealing with it. You know, Black Lake is good now, but Burt's still high.
Watershed.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
high. I mean, everything's connected.
And frankly, sir, if we were to bring in a hydraulic engineer to study this, I think we would find exactly what I referred to earlier.
Correct. Which is why
It's
your
all
idea of the
intertwined, and
overlay
you
is a
can-
good
you can
idea.
be 2 miles from Black River and have groundwater come into the Black River from 2 miles.
So my main point was, that's why Lake and Streams has to be, it should be out of solar and definitely should be looked at in any special use project, because of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. President? What would it take to, what would it take to get this out of Lincoln so you could amend our ordinance? How long would it take to do that?
Well, that would be rolled into this workable ordinance that we collectively agreed upon to the path forward. So that would go to public hearing once planning commission and staff are finished wordsmithing it, if you will, and then like any ordinance amendment, it would go to you, the Board of Commissioners, for review and adoption. So if planning commission recommends that Lake and Stream be omitted, goes to you, then you may approve. But as you likely know, even if planning commission recommends Lake and Stream remain, you have the authority to strike it.
Yeah, to override the recommendation.
To answer your question though, it depends on whether you tie what you're asking for right there, get it out, get those districts out of regulation. It would take an advertisement, a planning commission meeting, and public hearing, and then to you. It would be a matter of a few weeks to just do that.
Staff has already reviewed, we received information from Mr. Long. We're under a moratorium right now. There is no level threes that are coming through. They're basically, what we're saying straightforward, you don't have to go in and amend part of an ordinance that's already under a moratorium. So from a logistics standpoint, we have the target here. Board is stating go towards work ordinance. So staff will start working with the attorney that we select, okay? And we'll start developing language based on that direction. And that'll include what districts, what setbacks, what landscaping, all the provisions, will go through that process. So there's not a need right now to go in and repeal something that's just one section of an ordinance when it's under moratorium right now.
Just answer this question.
Yep, I understand. I just, because you're gonna need to focus your time to try to move forward on the workable. You do all the research on that, and, yeah, and, you let us move forward with that process.
As I indicated, the current moratorium expires early March, but the process for crafting, reviewing, adoption of ordinance, and especially when it's potentially complex as this and lengthy as this, takes a number of months. But once, again, that planning commission holds a public hearing, it makes a recommendation to the board, it's just a matter of a few weeks before it gets to you. And then the adopted ordinance is published, and then 8 days after publication, then it becomes code official.
Here you also said, Michael, that this 1-year period could be extended if need be.
Yes.
Through moratorium. Now, I'm sure we would have to show some due diligence on a good deal of it.
That's correct. There has to be some measure of proof or evidence that we collectively are working toward a workable ordinance. Because generally speaking, you can't adopt a moratorium and just sit on it and ask for an extension, nothing's been done. So if an extension is needed, then we have demonstrated fruitful progress, and you feel that an extension is needed, then I
If it's documented in our minutes of our meetings, that would be sufficient.
That would be required to show due diligence.
Yes.
legal counsel helping us with the workable ordinance will be?
Yeah, we'll do some research. It may be Clark Hill, it may be another firm. When you look at that, Mr. Warfield, say you put it under one roof, even if it's under one roof, you have attorneys that specialize in different areas now. So again, law is turned more like positions in today's world. You have certain attorneys that specialize in certain areas. So, we're going to be working with Clark Hill, so we'll be researching. If it isn't Clark Hill, then we'll look at other firms. What I do know is we're going to have to do research on what, in Michigan, what workable ordinances exist under the platform today. And then that's, we can start drafting some general provisions, and then when we get the legal questions, then we'll have to have the firm identified that we're going to use, and we're going to bring those legal reviews back to us. So that's the process that we'll look for. So not unlike, any other revision that the planning commission has done in the past.
Okay. It's 2:05. It doesn't look like there's any further info. How about a motion to adjourn? We think we've got our direction.
Yeah, there's a couple other topics, but I don't know if the board want to try to tackle those today or not.
I do not.
I would like to see another meeting in the
There you go.
near future. I think this has been very beneficial, and I think we probably wouldn't be so far apart if we've done this more often.
Chuck, do you think that as we go through this process, obviously it's gonna take a year to get there? Are we half a year to get there? I would like to think maybe realistically, very good at that year. Do you think it would be appropriate to have a regularly scheduled meeting, or maybe bi-monthly between us, what we've done here today? It would give us as a board of commissioners an opportunity to hear from you, to hear what your struggles are, hopefully what your accomplishments
Monthly would be great, bi-monthly, I've got to look at the time constraint on everybody, but,
To be determined, sure.
yeah.
But I like that idea, Mr. Chairman, and I think that we should. I hope everybody feels that this has been beneficial. I do as well, sir. And I hope that we will continue that. Thank you for bringing that up and suggesting.
Do it.
So moved.